Good?
Yeah, he just left him here yesterday.
Oh, okay. That works. Do you guys need the password for that, or you just need it?
I've got it. Chris sent me an email yesterday.
Okay, perfect. I didn't want to leave you guys stranded.
Gotcha. Thank you so very much, Tara.
Of course.
Alrighty, we good? Are we already on and we're just doing this thing where you're going to edit
Yeah,
this
exactly.
part out?
Yeah, nobody's paying attention right now. So
Okay.
if,
Okay. So how about you kick this one off?
yeah, sounds good. Welcome back to OLC Live. We're here for the Thursday wrap-up. We've had a full day of OLC Live today. We've been all over the place. We've had several interviews. I've been taking people in and out of the conference. But I guess if we go in order, you kicked the day off with an interview this morning?
I did. We had a little space on the program for hearing from our Online Learning Consortium leadership. Unfortunately, Dr. Devin Kinsella was not able to join us from the OLC cabinet, but Dr. Patsy Moskal from the OLC board was able to join us, and we took a look back in time a little bit about where OLC came from and how it's evolved a little bit over time and its place in our broader online teaching and learning community. And then the evolution of what we call today OLC Accelerate, this particular conference, and its place in the community, and some of the other resources and services and content and interaction opportunities afforded by OLC that some folks might not know about, whether they're new or experienced with OLC, and where we might be going in the future. So that was a pretty robust conversation, and we had a little bit of interaction from folks online, somebody who had been very involved and somebody who it seemed like was not as involved and had good questions, and so that was a good place to start the day, I think.
Yeah, I think I'd been to 2 OLC conferences before I recognized the full sort of scope of the OLC ecosystem. Sure. There's lots of professional development. There are all sorts of programs throughout the year, mini conferences going on all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's good to get a peek of that.
And just to plug this, and as you say that, Patsy and I talked about this a little bit this morning, but there's always, it's maybe a little bit, it's like when I was a kid and they would do that double Dutch, or it's not really double Dutch, it's the two people like spinning the jump rope, and you're like, I don't know how to get in there and jump, and it can be a little off-putting. And Patsy reminded us that there are resources on the onlinelearningconsortium.org website, like the Connect stuff you can passively receive from or attend, but then plugged throughout the website are opportunities to volunteer for things and be a reviewer or join up to be a field guide or whatever. Various roles. And I think that's a good thing to remind us all about and share that with colleagues who this might be all new to them.
Yeah, and OLC does such a great job of welcoming in first-time attendees at the conferences. The field guides are people who sort of show you around the conference center. They can help you find whatever you're going to. But it's actually great to be a field guide in your first year here before you even really know the lay of the land in terms of the people here. But you get to meet a lot of people. You get to see where everything is at the conference. You get sort of the insider's view from day one, and a great introduction to the system. The other place that's really wonderful for that is the Technology Test Kitchen here at Accelerate, or the Innovation Lab at Innovate, because you get to meet just so many of the people involved with the conference, and you get it's a bit jumping into the deep end of the pool from the social element. But it's a great way to sort of get your bearings at the same time.
On that note, you took OLC Live down into the Technology Test Kitchen and its environs to get up close and personal with some people today.
Yeah, the TTK is in the exhibit hall, and so you get to see all the vendors and what's going on with educational technology right now. And then the Technology Test Kitchen itself is a great space where there's playing with technology, from things like different kinds of keyboards that you might not see on a daily basis, things that are built for better accessibility, better ergonomics. So hands-on, real mechanical things, to creating your own circuits, to playing with VR and AR. Sort of high level and just the most mundane of things. We played a little bit today with a clip that goes on your table that holds your phone so that you can record yourself as you're doing, streaming. I'm thinking of it for, you might do an audio overlay on a PowerPoint type presentation, and this will hold your phone for you so that you can either check notes or record yourself and then splice the two feeds together.
Makes that phone much more useful
Yeah.
for those kinds of tasks.
Yeah, and it's got a little light on it so that you get really nice lighting. And so it's just a little $12 thing that anybody can get to make their home production of video a little bit better.
So did you show off some of those things in the?
Yeah, we played with a lot of that technology. We were even able, I think we were able to capture some of the AR really well.
Oh, really?
I was filming from a camera on another camera as it was going through AR, but I think it came out pretty well, and you could see, a sheet of paper on a desk, and with AR you were seeing, three-dimensional buildings pop out of the sheet of paper, and these beautiful artwork created in AR.
Wow.
So I was really excited about
That's
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then were you able to catch some folks and in walking through and
Yeah.
hey, talk to our online people?
Yeah, we got a few sessions even that were going at the time, and so we get to sort of sneak a peek on those, and then and captured Taylor Kindle, one of the engagement chairs here, as he was passing through. Clark Shaw Nelson, who's going to be the one of the chairs of innovation. We heard from him. We heard from Tina, and from just a whole bunch of people as they passed through. And so I hope that you get a sense of what people are excited about here on the ground, what they're moving towards, what they're coming from, and then also some of the culture of this conference. That people were excited about going out to the parks tonight, excited about spending time with their families and networking with people, and just the full.
By the parks, of course, we're talking about the Walt Disney World Resort here in the city beautiful Orlando, Florida. Not that I'm biased or anything, but people in the know say the parks, maybe, or maybe on property, those kinds of things. But a reminder for everybody, if you did not get to participate as John led those experiences or in these other interviews that we had throughout today or yesterday, hey, remember, sooner or later, they're going to show up in the archived YouTube playlist. And a reminder of that URL is bit.ly/OLC Live Archive, lowercase, no spaces. So they can participate asynchronously.
Yeah, we've already got some of the videos from this conference up. You can catch all the videos from our last conference, and then you'll find a few things in there that haven't been edited yet. And so if you wanna get the raw footage, you can go in there and find it right now. And then I will clean up some of that. You mostly see just up my nose and odd angles.
Who wouldn't like that?
Yeah, but there is some good conversation and people giving their input and then reframing their input in different ways. And so if you watch it before tomorrow, you can see a few different views.
Insider tip there. Yeah. And then I guess after I ran into you walking the halls at one point as well, and after all of that, we closed the day with a final interview. We just had as we're recording this just a few minutes ago, with Cheryl Pruitt and Kelly Herman about institutional level strategies for enacting accessibility, especially from the vantage point of online education professionals. But their scope was of course broader than that. And I think we had some really good conversation. So far, each of the interview sessions, yesterday and today, we've had a number of folks engaged in real time, and I'm sure, as we've seen before, over time, after the fact, perhaps that's you watching this right now, we'll have many more views through the archive. So whether you were in real time or asynchronously, thanks for your attention and your engagement. So we're going to look ahead to tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be doing a couple of more interviews and then a sort of recap of the whole conference, get some of our thoughts on it.
And that's what you should stay all the way to the bitter end for.
Yeah, and we'll actually be closing up after the rest of the conference is closed.
Because that's how we are here at OLC Live. We're not quitters like the rest of them. We'll still be working.
We'll pack up and take everything home.
I have this picture of people like taking the tables out from under the
laptop. They might literally be taking some
sitting.
We'll be hearing some construction sounds in the background. But yeah, we'll get to see during that session a little bit of a preview of what's coming in Innovate in April from OLC Live. And then I'm also hoping to take you into tomorrow. They are building up and then later tearing down an escape room here on campus. And we'll hopefully get to go into the escape room as a team's working through it and see what they've done to take that concept of an escape room and that game and work it into a discussion of online learning.
So correct me if I'm wrong, I think I've got this right now. 11 a.m. Eastern time on Friday, we will have Angela Gunder and Jessica Knott right here talking about Innovate, talking about OLC Live, talking about who knows what, but it'll be entertaining,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Then at 12 o'clock is when you're going to go with Maddie Shelgren into the escape room and all that, right?
Yeah, and Maddie's the designer down there, so I'm hoping that I can play the game and then get a little bit of insight from her and how she designed it, what she was thinking, what she thought went well, and what she's excited about with that.
It sounds really interesting, actually. I mean, just conceptually, thinking that through, and it would be helpful to see some of that.
Yeah. I'm excited about the tie-ins with Keynote and with our discussion with Jane of gamification, how you can use games as metaphors for learning, or games as vehicles for learning. And I think Maddie designed a brilliant learning experience for us.
That's very cool. And then at 12:45 Eastern Time tomorrow, Friday, is when we'll do our brief wrap up. But we'll celebrate you if you tune in real time. So we'd love to have you, and we'll get, I don't know, virtual ice cream or something. I don't know. We'll celebrate you. We'll be happy to have you. So it's not just us talking to each other, but that's how we'll put the maraschino cherry on the top of the sundae, the parfait, some kind of A.
The cream in my coffee and the
cream in the coffee. Yeah, sure, all that, all of that. But hope you found this useful. And if you're on Twitter, please do use the hashtag OLC Live if you want to tweet about this. I don't know if we've said that as much as we could have, but we'd love to hear from you what you've liked about this experience, whether you've engaged in real time or slightly out of phase asynchronously. And one way of doing that would be using the OLC Live Twitter hashtag. I'm trying to think if there are other practical ways for folks to share their feedback on this experience with us.
You can dig through some of these Twitter links and find some email, find some websites that we're associated with. The OLC Live website is a wonderful resource, both for these projects, but then also the streams of the sessions here on campus if you've been a virtual participant, and then also just ways of reaching out to us through there. And then I'd also encourage you to go check out Kelvin's podcast, and you'll get to hear from a lot of the participants here on campus that we weren't able to bring into OLC Live. And so you'll hear those roll out over the upcoming couple of months. Really.
Well, that's very generous. That podcast is Topcast, the Teaching Online podcast, co-hosted by my UCF colleague Tom Cavanaugh, and you can find that if you're interested. You don't have to, but John says you should, and you should listen to him. Topcast.online.ucf as in Frank.edu. Topcast.online.ucf.edu, and hey, we'd love to have you engage with that. And speaking of which, we've got a session. We won't have a direct way of having folks join in real time, but we've got some online resources that will be coming out of it. 9:45 Eastern Time tomorrow. John and I are both participating in, and now we're live, I think we're calling it, which is an express workshop, I think is the title of the format, where it's like kindergarten centers, right? It's like there are stations, and it's all about podcasting. We have a number of folks who have been engaged with various kinds of serialized media content, like OLC Live, like Topcast, in the higher ed space, and engaging with others. And Ryan Straight, who's been organizing that, is putting together like an e-publication.
Yeah, he's really excited about, he's a coder, and he's excited about this R Markdown book that he's putting out. It's going to be a beautiful website, and it's nice because you can get a PDF download or an EPUB download off of that website. And it's a bit of a background in how each of us have set up our various sort of podcasting initiatives, but then also practical guides on, what kind of mics should you be looking at? How do you physically set up the space? How do you book guests? Just a hands-on guide to podcasting in the educational space.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all turns out. I'm even going to be there, so we'll try to remember once the dust settles. Maybe we'll see if we can shout out a URL in the wrap-up tomorrow. And if maybe you're new to higher ed podcasting, because I can't not say this, Laura Pasquini from the University of North Texas has been curating a list of higher ed podcasts. They're all like listed and categorized in a Google spreadsheet, and there's like well over 100 of these things on various nuances in the higher ed space, and I'd really recommend you checking that out. I set up a bit.ly URL, and I'm just not completely convinced I've got it right in my head. I think it's bit.ly, bit.ly/higher ed podcast, or possibly bit.ly/higher ed podcast project. But you can certainly Google Laura Pasquini podcast project, and you will find this stuff.
Yeah, it's a
worth a
fantastic
look.
resource. Yeah.
Oh, it really is. She's worked hard at putting that together. It's really neat. Well, John, anything else we should tell everybody?
I think that's it. I think we'll be able to do some wrap down tomorrow and recap all of the great events going on here. But for now, I think we can sign off and call it a day.
So we say that's our big day. That's Thursday. Whew. That's like hump day for OLC Accelerate.
Yeah. It's all downhill.
It's all downhill from here. So have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are.
If you're at Magic Kingdom, come say hi to me. And we will see you tomorrow.